Okay, so I'm ready to start inking. I'm going to take my palette knife or inking knife, just put a really small amount of ink out. Use my brayer. Notice that I roll up and down and then let it spin. That way I get a nice even amount of ink. You won't hear the sort of you'd hear with oil-based ink if you're used to that. Just want a really small amount of ink. And then roll it over your block. On a brand new block that hasn't been inked, and there's usually this wonderful moment where you first really get a good look at your carving. And hopefully that's a positive moment because you go, oh, that looks great. Okay, I don't have a whole lot of cleanup carving to do. I can just kind of move forward and get started printing. So, but I've inked this up. It looks pretty good. I can't see any glaring things like sections of things I forgot to ink or something. So to do a really quick print, you could just put a piece of newsprint on top, just sort of rub it like this. So say I did notice that I had something that was missing or wrong. I could just do a really quick print like this, then wipe this off with a rag and go in to carve and fix it. And at least I'd have this to help me as a map for that. But if everything is good, I'm going to add just a little more ink out here. Roll this out. The color of ink that I'm using, it's a mixture of jet black and the phthalo blue green. So I'm getting this really beautiful kind of hunter green color ink. That was one pass, one charge of the brayer and rolls across. Just making sure that I get all the way out to the edge. Sometimes the edges of these blocks kind of curve a little bit, so you may have noticed over here I'm kind of putting the brayer up like this to be sure that I hit the edges. And the first print as a practice I'm going to do on newsprint. So I'm going to put it on there. Then I'm going to use my wooden spoon that I'm using as a Baron, and with light to moderate pressure, I'm not pushing very hard. I'm just going to go over the whole block. You can see that the paper's transparent, translucent enough that I can really kind of get a good idea of what I'm doing, and I can kind of see if I missed a spot. Again, this area that goes down a little bit, I'm going to be sure that I move the Baron onto its side a little bit to get that. All right, now I've got a good print. It's good practice to always put your brayer back down like this and not leave it like this. These brayers are pretty indestructible, but it's good practice. And if you ever move up to the expensive ones, it's good to have trained yourself that way. All right, I've just done one proof on newsprint. I'm going to again put out a really small amount of ink and roll it out nice and evenly. You don't want to have a whole lot of ink. You don't want to be able to ink this up completely with one pass or one series of rolls. Maybe two charging and rolling. If you hit the block with a lot of ink at one time, it'll of course go into your lower areas and gum them up and make it hard to make a nice crisp relief print. Another thing I have here is just little pieces of mat board because I can see there's a little bit of either the Speedy Carve material or a piece of lint or something that I could see in the ink on the block, and I don't want that. Okay, I'm going to stick with newsprint, but I'm going to start using my registration jig now. So I'm going to put it in there, put this on, get some oil on my spoon. It's nice when you have an older spoon that's been kind of burnished and worn in. It'll really slide. Another thing you can do is you can put a piece of tracing paper on top of here, and that will help make it slide. Notice that this is moving. It doesn't matter at this point because the paper and the block aren't moving. They're staying stuck together. Okay, it's a little light here. I could have inked it a little more consistently. But you know, these first couple prints that I make of a block, I'm checking stuff. I'm like, is it inking well? Do I like it? Do I need to stop and carve some more? You know, just inking it up slowly until I get a print that's really fully inked and looks really good. So it might take me 3, 4, 5, 10 to get it fully inked, but that's okay. And I'm going to keep printing on the newsprint until I get a really perfect print, and then I'm going to go excuse me, to my good printmaking paper. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go to my good printmaking paper. This paper is so inexpensive that you really could do your proofing on this. So I made sure that I nudged this up to this end. I'm putting my paper down in the consistent place that I want to put it down every time. There's also Barons that look like this. And these work pretty well, and people like them, especially people have big hands. There's a lot of room in here. Truthfully, I really just like the wooden spoon. My colleague Susan Soper had a video where she was talking about using a baby food jar, like the bottom of a baby food jar, and I think that's a great idea. I haven't tried it yet, but that's a great idea. A lot of people like old doorknobs, that kind of thing, work really well for hand printing. The reason this works so well is that we're using thin washi, thin Japanese paper, so we don't need the kind of pressure that we need from a press. The paper's thin enough that we can get more than enough pressure just with pushing with our spoons. Okay, that looks pretty great. So here I have my print over here and my block over here. Notice that they are mirror images of each other, and keep that in mind when you do relief printmaking. Notice that here I have black line. Remember that what you're carving is the whites away. And then in this area, it's more like what we would call white line. So the white line's predominant. What gets really fun with relief printmaking is when you think about transitions. Like, how can I go from predominantly black line into more of a white line kind of situation? Or how can I do sort of transitions across a grid in this sampler? Like here, these images move forward into the other grid, or here, this white form kind of flows into the negative form there. Also in here, I break down the grid a little bit, and also in here. I'm going to show you a couple ways you could do a blend. You can just take a little of one color, I got a little blue there, a little bit of another. Remember that you just want to use a small amount. This ink is water-based, but it does dry through absorption and through oxidation or evaporation. Prints dry pretty quickly, especially when it's warm, summer like this. But really, I've found that they dry in only about an hour or so. So you can see I've got two different colors on here. I think I want to extend the pink area. So I'm just moving the brayer along. Okay. And then if I did a blend this way, I can do that. My 4-inch brayer will cover this. But what if I want to do it this way? What I think is really fun is that you could do a blend like this. Notice I inked there. Now I'm going to turn it and, oh, tricky, right? So it looks like I've got a much larger roller or something and doing dark, light, dark, but really I'm just using one small little brayer. I use this a lot on large woodcuts. If I'm just, or if you don't have a large roller, or you know, have to make do with a smaller brayer or something, it's really easy to do this. Another thing you can do is I've just added more ink to this, but this is my same blend on my brayer. And this time I'm just going to ink this much of the block. I could take another brayer that has another color on it. I could just do this. I mean, there's no end to how many variations of this that you could do. Kind of want that edge to sort of meld together a little better, so I think I might come back with this brayer and now just overlap that a little bit. Here are a couple more prints that I did. The one on the right, I just inked up with the brayers on the diagonal to get that kind of look. And then the one on the right is a ghost. So a ghost print is just one where you take another print off the block without re-inking. The nice thing about that is that this is pretty light and it could work really well printing something on top of it. Here's another print, and this time instead of having 2 colors on the brayer, I had 3 colors on it. So that when I inked up and then turned it around and inked the other way, again, I get a much more complicated print than it would seem just by one inking kind of thing. A lot of bang for your buck with that. All right, it's cleanup time. Even though this is water-based ink, it stays open the whole day. Today, as I've been printing, it just evaporates a little bit and gets a little more stiff, so it's better for relief printing. I have my dog bowl with my soapy water and my rags in it, and as I've been printing, I've just been using the rags to keep my fingers clean too if I get any ink on them. Cleanup is really easy. I'm going to actually save some of my ink. So this is these little cuppers that McLean sells, which I'm, madly in love with, I have to say. I'm just going to save all of my quantity of ink, and I should end up getting kind of a fabulous neutral in here with my leftovers. So I'm just going to scoop up that. All the rest of this you can just clean with soapy water. I would make sure that you're drying these will rust, so be sure that you're drying them really well. You could take everything over to the sink and wash it there. I find that I actually do a better job at my work table here instead of taking everything over to the sink. Also, I find that the brayers aren't as happy if you just dunk them into a pail of water. I try to keep them as dry as I possibly can, and they seem to be happier for that. So I'm just going to do kind of a once over. This is with a really soapy rag. This can all just be scooped up. I don't have a big sink, so I can't really take this whole thing into my sink here. So this just works just as well. When I print out in my studio, which is my garage, I don't have any water out there, so I usually just keep some soapy water in an old plastic milk container, and that way I can work out there without needing to come in here and run into the sink all the time. So really easy to keep these clean. Be sure that you're cleaning around here. Okay, and then some colors, especially that phthalo bluish green, are really going to stain. You can see my hands are stained a little bit. So a brand new brayer is never going to look exactly the same because it might get stained. Make sure I get the sides, also make sure I get here. I'm going to go over these one more time, and then I'm going to make sure that they're really, really dry, and then I could put a little talc on them, and that usually makes the rubber nice and happy and keeps them from getting sticky. That's it. This just gets rinsed and cleaned in the sink, and I hang up my rags somewhere, get them all nice and clean, and I can use them again. Now my block, this looks like it's stained a little, but I'll maybe scrub that with a little baking soda and it should come off. Again, with my block, just like the brayers, I don't tend to want to clean these in the sink because these are pretty delicate and I don't want to bend it or somehow mess up a corner or something. So soapy rag, just trying to be really gentle because these do wear out pretty quickly, unlike linoleum or something, which is pretty sturdy and will last a long time. So I might rinse that under some warm water and then pat it dry, and that's basically it. My prints will be dry pretty soon, and I've had a really great printing session. I hope you learned a lot and want to try this for yourself.